Hi everyone, we're going to do a quick setup video today for the Behringer 960. It's the sequential controller, which is the Moog recreation from the System 55 setup. Those sequences don't exist anymore, really, because you can't actually get the chips to repair them or make them. So it's actually really cool that Behringer have remade this sequencer. Anyway, this video is really quick. You're going to actually be able to see all the sections down below here. So if you want to get straight to the bit that you need, there it is there, or it's in the description with the time codes in there. All right, let's go. All right, guys, so here it is. This is the sequential controller. Just a quick overview. This section here, the oscillator, we're going to call it. Probably should be called the clock, or the sequencer timing, if you want to call it. So this basically is your speed switch from 1 really slow steps to 6, which is really fast, almost audio rate stuff. And the frequency vernier below is like more of a fine control. I'll show you that in a sec. Oscillator on is actually your start button. Really, it should be called start. Oscillator off is your stop button. These two little connections below enable you to send a gate into those so you can actually remotely control them. And then your control input for the oscillator section, and your oscillator output is so that you can send the gate, or the oscillator frequency gate, I guess you want to call it, outwards to another device. In my case, it's going to be an envelope, and I'll show you the actual setup that I've got in a sec. Okay, onto the sequencer side. It's very basic. These are 3 separate rows of 8 steps. Each row has individual outputs. You've got 2 per each output, and they'll send CV volts per octave output. The knobs are controlling basically the amount of voltage. If you're in X1, X2, or X4 on that switch, it'll be X1 is 0 to 2 volts, X2 is 0 to 4 volts, and X4 is 0 to 8 volts. So maximum of 8 volts on the sequencer. And that just means that you're going to get more pitch control on your oscillator. The lower the pitch, the higher the pitch, left to right sort of thing. That's very simple. All right, and down the bottom you can actually select what step you're at. You've got these skip, normal, and stop buttons, so they will skip a step. So let's say if we just wanted 4 steps, we could skip the last 4. Okay, so let's show that, and it just does the 4. In fact, you can skip any step. Okay, and when you want to stop, it will stop at that step. Easy peasy. All right, what we're going to do quickly too is, one of the things you'll want to do when you're setting this up is you'll want to see how to tune it. And I reckon one of the best ways to do that is if you have a tuner connected up to your oscillator somehow. Now there's various ways you can do it. The easiest way is if you've got it connected up to a DAW, put the tuner, like in Ableton, you've got the tuner control in here. So we'll just quickly zoom in. There it is there. And what we can do is just go stop on that first step. It's just going to be playing on that first step. And what I suggest is probably turn your pitch down to the lowest setting and set the step, press start, and we can see that it needs a slight bit of tuning. Easy peasy. Okay, let's set this up so that you guys can hear it like I've done. Okay, to connect up your synthesizer, you're going to use the sequencer lane out. So we're going to use the track A. That's going into your CV volts per octave input here. And you want to set that to maximum. And then the second part you want to connect up is, I've got an envelope generator. So that's coming out of the oscillator output, which is your gate out. And that's going into the gate in. The gate out is going into the VCF, and that's automatically wired into the VCR. You can see by that line there. So that's how we're getting one envelope to control everything. Easy. What we're going to do is we're going to look at the third row as a time control of timing. or it's like a time shifter. So the left-hand side, the slower, the right-hand side, the faster. And we are going to show you, I've got left and full right on each alternate step here. So let's go half. And all the way to the left. Pretty easy, right? Okay, next step is we're going to show you guys how to set this up with the 962. So we're going to unplug our volts per octave output on sequencer A and plug this into the output on the 962. Then we're going to plug the, you'll see underneath these cables, it says signal in 1. That can be your track A, and then signal in 2 is going to be track B. And I'm just going to show you, the reason why I'm going to show you this, you can do 3, there's a third spot there, but I'm going to show you that you can actually just use 2. And this is actually a cool feature of this sequential switch. So now that we've got it, we need to connect one more thing, and that is we need to set a shift output. And I'm going to do it on every first step. It's going to shift. And what it does is it will shift between 1 and 2. Right, if we had the third one set up, it'll be shifting between 1, 2, and 3, and it will just repeat. So let's have a look. Easy. And the thing I want to show you guys is how to set up one of these tracks as a modulation source. And in this case, I've got the light blue cable here going into the VCF. And we're going to turn that up now, and we're going to back off the envelope a little bit. So we're getting a bit of modulation, and you can see it'll be off, on, et cetera, as you see through. Cool little feature. So you can use the sequencer for pitch when you can use it for modulation. I want to show you one other trick. I'm going to send this gate out into a delay, and that's the Magneto by Strymon, and that clock is now going into the clock in on the Magneto. So let's try that. Nice little effect. Okay, last section is we are going to disconnect our entire oscillator from the sequencer, which means we're going to clock this thing externally. And to do that, we're going to use the Pamela's new workout as our clock, and we're going to go in to this section here where it says shift. See down the bottom here? So this little shift thing, it literally will just, every clock pulse it gets, it will shift it along. All right, so this is now going into PAMs. And the last thing I want to do is I need some way of getting the gate, and we're just going to piggyback into that. And now I can control this from my DAW, and it's going to be 120 BPM. We'll connect up the delay to the main gate, and we'll see if this all works beautifully. And one added bonus, I'm going to show you guys how to transpose the sequence. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this input here on the oscillator. It's the second CV input here. And I'm going to use a CV keyboard, which is the key step. And we're going to transpose the whole sequence. Here we go. And then we can get funky with the steps. Well, guys, that's a really quick video on the Behringer 960. Let us know if you need any more information on the Behringer 960. Let us know if you think that's... I'm pretty sure I've got everything. I've written notes here. Pretty sure. If I've missed anything, yeah, let us know in the comments. See you on the next video. Maybe we could do an advanced one. We could do ratcheting and show you how to do some more funky stuff with the 962 using the oscillator. Maybe could use the oscillator for something else. Let us know if you want to do that. See you in the next video.